Former President and Republican nominee Donald Trump says Israel will be wiped off from the face of the earth if he does not win the 2024 presidential election, and that the election is about saving Israel. He made the comments at an event by the Israel-American Council titled Fighting Anti-Semitism in America. Trump took a jibe at Democratic nominee and U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris for what he called an explosion of anti-Semitism in recent years. Addressing leaders at a Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute event in Washington, D.C., U.S. President Joe Biden emphasized that they will play a pivotal role in shaping America's future. He said the country is a nation of immigrants and that's why it is strong. His remarks underscored the significance of the Hispanic community's contributions to the nation. He also highlighted the administration's commitment to supporting Hispanic communities through various initiatives such as education, economic empowerment and immigration reform.
Our politics once had a proud bipartisan tradition.
Democratic presidential nominee and Vice President Kamala Harris has called for action to stop gun violence at schools. Speaking at a presidential campaign with TV host Oprah Winfrey in Michigan, Kamala Harris said she was in favor of the Second Amendment, assault weapons bans, universal background checks and red flag laws. Israeli army released footage showing what it claimed to be strikes on Hezbollah launchers and terrorist infrastructure sites. According to information published by the Israeli Defense Forces, since Thursday afternoon, the Israeli Air Force struck approximately 100 launchers and terrorist infrastructure sites. Lebanon's state news agency said that the bombardment included more than 52 strikes across southern Lebanon. Lebanese health authorities have said that the death toll in explosions targeting pagers and handheld walkie-talkies across Lebanon on Tuesday and Wednesday has risen to 37, while the number of those injured has nearly touched 3,000. Lebanon's Directorate General of Civil Aviation has issued a circular banning all airlines operating at Beirut Airport from transporting any pager or walkie-talkie device. Taiwan's government says it is probing pagers linked to blasts in Lebanon and have made several visits to the company. Taiwan's economy minister has said that components used in thousands of pagers that detonated in Lebanon earlier this week were not made in Taiwan. The president, founder of the company and his local contact for the deal with Hungary-based firm BAC have been questioned by prosecutors. Taiwan-based Gold Apollo said this week it did not manufacture the devices used in the attack and that they were made by company BAC, which has a license to use its brand. Irish police have arrested 19 people in Dublin after anti-immigration protesters blocked the main bridge in the capital at peak traffic time. The bridge blockade during the evening rush hour followed a march by around 500 anti-immigration protesters through central Dublin to the Irish Parliament. Ireland has seen rising anti-immigration sentiment in recent years. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has claimed that his rival in the presidential election, Edmundo Gonzalez, asked him for mercy to flee to Spain. He also accused him of lacking integrity. Maduro's claims come after Gonzalez said he was coerced by authorities into exile after being forced to sign a letter effectively recognizing his defeat in July's presidential election. Venezuela's government has rejected a non-binding resolution approved by the European Parliament that urged European Union partners to recognize opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez as president of Venezuela. The government-controlled National Assembly approved an agreement to repudiate the decision voted by the European Parliament. European Parliament recognized Gonzalez as the legitimate and democratically elected president of Venezuela with 309 votes in favor, 201 against and 12 abstentions. It follows disputed elections in July that the opposition claims it won. Russia's defense ministry has said that its troops have successfully destroyed a piece of armor supplied to Ukraine by the West. The defense ministry published a video of the strike on the US-made Stryker armored personnel carrier, which was spotted by Russian aerial reconnaissance in a village in Kursk region. India's Prime Minister and US President Joe Biden will be holding a bilateral meeting on the sidelines of the Quad Leaders Summit on Saturday. According to sources, the two leaders, Prime Minister Modi and President Biden, are expected to discuss Modi's visits to Moscow and Kiev. Prime Minister Modi will be visiting the United States from 21st to the 23rd of September. In India's state of Odisha, 5 officers, including the inspector in charge of Bharatpur police station, have been suspended for allegedly assaulting and harassing an Indian Army officer and his fiancée. The incident came to light when the duo attempted to report a road rage incident at the police station. They claimed that upon reaching the police station to file a complaint, they were allegedly mistreated. Bangladesh's interim government says it will formally seek extradition of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina from India to stand trial. The caretaker government's law advisor Asif Nazrul said that the prosecutors for the trial in Bangladesh's International Crimes Tribunal have already been appointed. He said the interim government will seek Hasina's extradition from India as soon as the trial process starts. In Bangladesh, the Dhaka University has decided to ban any political activity on the university campus. All types of political activities by students, teachers and employees will remain banned until further notice. The decision was taken at a meeting of the highest policy-making body of the university syndicate. During quota reform protests that led to the ouster of Sheikh Hasina, students demanded a ban on politics connected to the political parties on the campus. Residents of Mexico City evacuated buildings and homes for an emergency earthquake drill. This date marks the anniversary of the devastating 2017 and 1985 earthquakes. Authorities sounded quake alarms in Mexico City, and office workers began conducting practice runs for building emergency evacuations. Mexican President López Obrador, along with President-elect Claudia Sheinbaum, and officials held a tribute ceremony for victims of the 2017 and 1985 quakes. Peruvian President Dina Boluarte flew over a fire-stricken Amazon region following its declaration of emergency due to widespread forest fires. According to authorities, the fires have destroyed crops and impacted archaeological sites. According to the Health Ministry, Boluarte oversaw the deployment of 12 helicopters carrying water to combat the flames, which have claimed 16 lives. China is considering removing some of the largest remaining restrictions on home purchases. This comes after previous measures failed to revive a housing market. Regulators are working on a proposal that would allow megacities such as Shanghai and Beijing to relax restrictions for non-local buyers. It's a barrier many smaller cities have already removed. The government may also end distinctions between first and second home purchases. This could pave the way for smaller down payments and lower mortgage rates on second residences. Nvidia is teaming up with Abu Dhabi-based G42 to create a climate technology lab. This marks the first partnership with the United Arab Emirates' top artificial intelligence firm. The two companies will work on developing AI that can improve the accuracy of weather forecasting. They will rely on Nvidia's Earth-2, an open platform that can make climate and weather predictions. Nvidia has been speeding up development of new products and expanding its footprint. Back in June, the company said it now plans to upgrade its AI accelerators every year. Japan's key inflation gauge accelerated in August for a fourth consecutive month. Consumer prices, excluding fresh food, rose 2.8% from a year earlier, speeding up from 2.7% in July. This comes as processed food costs increased further. And this comes as the Bank of Japan is scheduling to wrap up its latest policy decision meeting. A group of companies, including Meta and Spotify, blasted the European Union for its fragmented and inconsistent decision-making, data privacy and AI. The firms, along with several researchers and industry bodies, have signed an open letter claiming that Europe was already becoming less competitive and risked falling further behind in the age of AI. The signatories have called for a harmonized, consistent, quick and clear decision from data privacy regulators to enable European data to be used in AI training for the benefit of Europeans. According to a US Federal Trade Commission report, social media companies collect, share and process vast troves of user information while offering little transparency or control. This includes giving users information on how their data is being used for AI training. The report mentions how social media companies gather data through tracking technologies used in online advertising, sometimes even buying information from data brokers. A robotic dog developed in the US is providing a promising alternative to chemical weed killers developed by researchers at Texas A&M University. The Spot robot uses heat from a torch powered by propane to blast the plant. Instead of killing the weed, the four-legged robot weakens the weed at the root, preventing a quicker regrowth, something which happens when weeds are physically to be cut out. Indonesia's tax agency is investigating an alleged data breach that exposed the taxpayer identification numbers of millions of Indonesians. This includes the identification numbers of Indonesian President Joko Widodo, his ministers and his two sons. Experts say the taxpayer data leak could attract targeted attacks from scam operations, adding that it could also expose people's earnings and transaction data.